Hello everyone and welcome to this live stream. Can you guys hear me okay? Just a sec. Oh, yeah. I have to, okay, adjust the sound on my computer. Okay guys, Ooh. And Luki is off and I am letting her, as I usually do. I will get her back if she stays away for too long, you guys, so that this live stream can stay interesting for you. Hi, Christian Vincent. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Tasmin. Wow, already 9 people in the live stream. I will tell the story of what happened, what's been going on with Luki and the police, and I will start telling that story in, I don't know, half a minute. I'm just waiting until everyone is here. I want to give everyone the opportunity to start following this live stream and the story from the beginning. So yeah, oh, someone already gave this video a like. Thank you so much. Can you guys please all go do this? Just click on the like button because it really supports my channel and it also really, it helps me to keep creating videos because the algorithm on YouTube is really difficult, and if the more likes you have and the more reactions, the more comments on your video, the more YouTube shows your videos to the people watching the videos on YouTube, and the more views you get, the more motivated you are to make new videos and stuff. So go hit that like button. Already 3 people now who did it. Great. I want more. I want more. I won't tell you guys the story until everyone has hit the like button. I'm such a manipulative bee. I can't curse in the video because, children might be watching. Hi, Stats. Hi, everyone. Thank you for the likes. Already? Oh, Luki. Just a sec. I have to go check on Luki. Just a sec, guys. I'll be back. What are you doing? Voila. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, let's get, first of all, hi Chris, hi JLo, Tasmin, Christina, Vincent, hello, Melissa, Stat, welcome to the live stream. Apparently there are already 16 people watching. That is so incredibly cool. No, Saruman, this title is not a clickbait. Normally people get really angry when you do clickbait, and I know in this case people would be relieved if it were clickbait, but it's not. It's not clickbait. I'm going to tell you guys the story and how everything turned out, and then after today's video I will also do regular updates. Hi Sean, welcome to the live stream. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you guys a story. Luki is flying around and about. I'll get her in a couple of minutes when she has had enough fun flying, because barn owls in general, if you let them loose in your house, they will fly for a couple of minutes and then they get tired and they'll just sit somewhere for hours in the same spot and be lazy. Okay, I'm gonna adjust the camera just a bit so I can sit up straight. Is this okay? Okay. Do you guys like my sweater, by the way? I bought my own merch. Oh, can you read this? It's, oh, this is weird. Be kind. And then an artsy barn owl face, geometric. Oh, thank you for the prayers, Sean. Thank you so much. You can buy the merchandise, by the way, guys, on Teespring. The link is in the description box down below. Already 7 likes. Yay! Okay, I will start telling the story right now because I'm probably annoying everyone by not starting to tell the story. Okay, so what happened? This is a very spontaneous video. I did not prepare a script or anything, so forgive me if I have to think sometimes before I can tell the story, because obviously English is not my native language. Looky, are you coming back? She's on the floor right now. Are you coming back to me? I guess not. Okay, so what happened? A few days ago, I'm not going to read your chat right now, guys, because I always have trouble reading the chats and finishing my story. I forget where I always forget where I am in my story when I try to also respond to your comments. So if I miss your comments, I apologize in advance, and you can always ask me your questions in the next live stream if you feel the need to. So, okay, that's that. What happened? A few days ago, and I'm also sorry for the screeching. Yeah, sorry. So, what happened? A few days ago, we got a letter in the mail from the police, and it was directed to Robert, actually. And Luki is joining us again. That's so cool, Luki. Thank you. People want to see you, they don't want to see me. So we received a letter from the police, and it was directed to Robert. And in the letter, it said that Robert was being charged for violating the CITES law, and that the violations were so serious that he could be robbed of his freedom. So basically, the letter said that the facts that were committed, the crimes that were committed, were so serious that he could go to prison. Please don't poop right now, Luki, because my computer is next to me. Okay. So I was at work when he opened the mail and saw the letter, and he called me immediately, and he was like, "This is so weird. I got a very serious letter from the police stating that I violated the CITES law. Do you know what that is?" And I was like, "The CITES law? That's a Belgian, or at least a Europe. No, it's not a Belgian law. It's a European law that regulates all of the rules you have to follow concerning exotic animals, in this case, a barn owl." So when he said what was in the letter, I immediately knew that it was about Luki, because CITES doesn't cover any other laws like, I don't know, driving a car or whatever. It's about animals. And I was like, well, that's weird that they think Luki is yours, because Luki is officially mine. If the police would have called the CITES service, they would have found out that Luki is not Robert's owl. So yeah, that was the first really weird thing, but okay. So I was really upset when I heard about the letter, because it was obviously very serious. Like, if Robert can be robbed of his freedom, it means that the facts are so serious that you can go to prison, like when you have committed a murder or something. So I was super upset. So I was at lunch when he called me. So I had the time to call the police and ask them for more information, because in the letter it said that Friday, which is today, Robert had to come to the police at 11 o'clock a.m. But the thing is, that was another 2 days. So we had to wait for 2 days to know how serious it was and what it was about. And I was going crazy in my mind because, as far as I knew, I didn't violate any laws, any CITES laws. I was so convinced that I was in order with everything. You guys know me. I follow all of the rules. Yeah, Loki. Like I'm way too nice for this planet. Like I always follow every stupid rule, like even the rules of which I know that they aren't really correct or something. Like I always follow every rule like a neurotic person, you know? So I was so upset when I learned about this letter and I called the police, but unfortunately the service that had, you know, the people who would interrogate me on Friday, which was today, the service at which they worked, I'm so sorry for my English, was already closed, had just closed. I called the police and she wanted to transfer me with the service that was treating my, well, my violation case, I guess I should call it. I don't know how to, well, that was treating my case. It was, and it had just closed, which was, it sucked so bad. So I had no other option than to call again the next morning, which was the day before the interrogation. Yeah. So the next morning I called back because the service was open from 9 to 12. I called back the police and I was like, I'm so sorry, but first of all, I think that you have made a mistake. I don't think you need Robert, you need me. The owl is in my name. And second of all, please don't destroy my couch, will you? And second of all, I said to the police who answered the phone, well, who investigated my case. I can't say his name, by the way. Cannot tell you his name, but it's not relevant anyway. Why would I want to say his name? But the man who I spoke to on the phone, which was an investigator, an inspector, I told him, like, and second of all, I don't think that I am in violation of any laws, because I follow the falconer's education, and I should be fine normally. And the thing is, he was kind of assertive and at that time on the phone, and to me it seemed like he had already judged me and it sounded really negative and angry. So after that phone call, I was even more upset and stressed. I was like, oh my god, they think I'm a criminal. Like my world was collapsing. And the thing is, I know that if you're not in order with the CITES law, I know that they can take away your owl. They can, if the violations are really serious, they can take away your owl, which would be super sad. If I would lose Lucky, I would be so sad, and I'm sure Lucky would suffer too. Even if she would go to a care center where they would take very good care of her, she would still get depressed because I don't think that at a care center they would take the time to do stuff with her like I do. They would feed her well, they would take a great care of her, but because Lucky is an imprinted owl, imprinted on humans, I think she would suffer mentally in a care center. But anywho, I asked the police officer for more information, but he didn't want to give more information because obviously he can't. When the police needs to interrogate someone, they can't give any information on the phone because then they ruin their chances of, I don't know, they kind of, it's like when you've committed a murder, they're not gonna tell you like, oh yeah, we want to interrogate you because a woman has been killed, at 9 o'clock yesterday in that place. Like, they can't give any information because then they ruin their chance of finding out if you did it, if you know what I mean. Sorry for the bad English. So even though I completely understood the fact that he couldn't give me any further information, it still made me upset because I just wanted to be, how do you say this in English? I just wanted to be reassured, actually, that everything was going to be okay. And I didn't got reassurance. I didn't get reassurance on the phone. So I was even more upset after that. And I was so sure that this police officer was against me and that everything would turn out so bad. And I had all of these stories in my head, which was my fault. I thought that maybe someone from our neighborhood was hating on us and charge us. I thought someone of the neighborhood went to the police and said, "Oh, they have a barn owl and it's being treated very badly," or something. I was also thinking, oh, Melissa, don't worry. I'm gonna talk about the violations and everything in detail in a second. I just want to tell the story like, I don't know. I just want to tell the whole story with every detail that I can give, because I can't give some details. I can't give because of the law of the privacy. Like, for example, the name of the police officer I can't give, but I don't feel like that's important. So where was I? Also, yeah, so first of all, I was really afraid that the police officer that I spoke to on the phone was against me and that he would be super rude and intimidating during the interrogation. And my second fear was that someone hates us, because it happens a lot, people who own an owl, like if someone hates you in the neighborhood, like let's say you had a discussion with a neighbor or something, and they wanna I don't know, how do you say this, they wanna screw with you, I don't know, they can go to the police and say, hey, they have an exotic animal and they are not following the rules or anything, and you'll get in trouble. And even if you are in order with everything, then it's still really annoying and stressful, so I was afraid that either someone in the neighborhood was hating on us and wanted revenge for something, not that we did anything wrong to anyone, but you never know. Or, and that was even scarier, last year we had a discussion. Well, it was more than a discussion, but we had a thing happening with a police officer from our city, and he's actually, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not, because it might be a hint to who he is if anyone from Belgium is seeing this, and I can't do that. I totally respect his privacy. But anyway, we had a kind of a fight, not a physical fight, but just, yeah, an argument. We had an argument with a police officer from our city, and it was a really, it was weird. He accused us of hitting another car, which we didn't. Honestly, we didn't. And we told him that we didn't. There also wasn't anything you could see. There wasn't any damage on the other car, but he was convinced that we did hit the car. And he said, I'm a police officer. You need to give your personal information, like your name, your phone number, your address. You need to write it on paper and put it like on the car, so that when the owner of that car comes back, he can contact you and the insurance because you damaged that car. And we were like, but we didn't. Honestly, we didn't. We didn't even hit the car. And even if we would have hit the car, there isn't any damage. But we didn't even hit the car. I swear. You guys, I swear. And for some reason, that police officer became really angry and annoyed. And he was he was being really, I don't know, mean. In my opinion, he wasn't being correct. And for once in my life, I I stood up for myself. I was really assertive. Normally, I would have just um, I don't know, let him um, dominate me or something. But it felt so unjust because he accused Robert of hitting a car and trying to run away and not taking any responsibility. And that's a serious crime here in Belgium. Um, and he threatened us. He was like, I am a police officer and I'm going to take note of this officially and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God, this is really serious. So I called his colleagues, I called the police, and they came and they saw that there wasn't any damage, and so that we didn't hit the car. And luckily, um, the lady, the owner of the car, came outside, so that the colleagues of the police officer who was accusing us could ask her, like, do you see anything wrong with your car? And the lady was like, no, everything's fine. So luckily, the colleagues of this police officer, who in my opinion at that time was being very mean, they luckily they saw that we didn't do anything and there wasn't any damage. So it turned out to be okay. So we weren't charged for anything. But the thing is, we had this argument with this police officer, and I don't know why he reacted the way he did. I'm still giving him credit, because at first I was really angry with this guy, but like now that I have calmed down, I'm like, well, maybe he really believes that he saw us hitting the car. And Robert and I are really allergic to injustice. Like, when people do stuff to other people and they get away with it, it's injustice and we can't stand it. It makes us so angry. But maybe this police officer was convinced that he did see us hit the car. Like, it can happen. You can think that you are seeing something when actually it's not really happening. I mean, who knows? Maybe he was so convinced that we did hit the car that made him so angry that that's the reason why he acted the way he acted. So, like, I'm giving him some credit. Maybe he's not an asshole. Sorry for the ugly word. Maybe he just had a bad day, or maybe he was so convinced that we hit the car that it made him really angry that we denied it. In his eyes, maybe we were, being really unfair. So I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I'm gonna tell you everything, I swear. So we were afraid, to make a long story short, we were afraid that this police officer with whom we had an argument, we were afraid that he hadn't let go of what had happened, and that he, I don't know, maybe looked us up on the internet to bully us. And maybe by looking us up on the internet, he found that that I have an owl. Maybe he found my YouTube channel, and maybe he got the idea, hey, I can bully these people by sending the inspection or something like that. That was what I was thinking in my head. And that was a really scary thought. You can have one stupid argument with a police officer and they are in such a powerful position. If they want to bully you for the rest of their life, they can, because they have a lot of power, and usually their colleagues will back them up and they will believe their colleague, which is totally understandable. But like, as as a civilian, like you're completely powerless in such situations. So this was a really big fear that I had. It made me so anxious. To be honest, I binged for several days. I binge ate because I was so stressed about this. The fact that I didn't know, it drove me crazy. Luckily, it turned out to not be true. All of the stories I made up in my head, and this goes to show that you need to learn how to live in the now, not in the past or in the future. You need to learn how to live in the present, and I am so bad at that. I really need to grow spiritually and as a person. I need to grow the fuck up. Um, so yeah, all of the stories that I was making up in my head turned out to not be true. Um, so what did happen? How did we get charged for this? Because um, how do you call in English? How do you say this? When you haven't paid a bill, for example, they send a collector. Is it a collector? They send a collector and to your house, and they have the right to enter. They have a special key. They can enter your house if you're not home, and they write down your possessions so that if you don't pay your bill within a few weeks, they can come back to your house and take away your stuff and sell them, so that way the bill gets paid. I think it's a collector, right? Apparently, oh, it's a debt collector. Thank you, JLo. It's so a and thank you, Brad, a bill collector, a debt collector, a bailiff. Um, so apparently, Robert, last year, Robert got his bill for the, how do you say this in English? For the taxes, the annual taxes you need to pay in Belgium. And it was so much that he had to pay. It was such a high amount that he had to call the tax office and ask to pay his taxes in small parts, like every month a certain amount until the bill is completely paid. And they allowed this, luckily, but it is 650 euros a month that he needs to pay. Well, we need to pay because we live together, which is a lot for us. It is a lot. And there was one month where he did pay the bill, but it was a few days late because you always have to pay. Oh, it's called installments. Thank you so much, Stat. Oh, thank you, JLo, for saying that my English is fine. So yeah, we paid with installments, but there was one time where Robert did pay the bill, but he paid it a few days late. And the thing is, when you get a payment plan, an installment plan, you every month you need to pay that piece before a certain date. And if you don't do that, usually they will totally they will, how do you say this in English? Annulate, not annulate. They will scrap, delete your installment, your payment plan. But luckily this time they didn't do that. But because he was a couple of days late, you know, when it's about taxes, the bill collectors, they will act super fast. So normally if you have an installment plan and you don't pay in time, they will also send a collector, a bill collector, but it will, you know, they won't come after only a week. It may take 2 weeks or 3 weeks until they send a collector. But if it's when it's about taxes, you guys, in Belgium, they take it very seriously. Like if you pay 1 day late, they will, like a few days later, they will send a collector, you know. So a collector came to write down everything we had, but we weren't home. So they entered, and when a collector comes in Belgium, they always have a police officer with them. to ensure their safety, because you can imagine people who have debt and who are desperate, they can become aggressive out of nowhere. So there's always a police officer present to protect the collector. Now, luckily, everything's fine because Robert had paid the bill a few days later, so they didn't have to take anything, and they're not coming back or anything, so everything's fine. But the thing is, they check every room to see what you have, and they also checked the garage. And the thing is, Lucky that day was standing in the garage because we had to leave urgently. And because of that, we put Lucky in the garage for her own safety, because the dog was still inside in the living room. And even though he won't do anything to Lucky, we still like to take safety precautions, you know? So she was standing in the garage because we had to leave. We had an emergency. We had to leave immediately. And because we had an emergency, we didn't put water with her. We forgot. Normally, she always has water, even though owls don't drink, though. But normally, she always has water. But this time, we forgot to put water with her in the garage. So the collector came into the garage and with the police, and they saw Lucky. Now, side note, our garage was a mess. It wasn't like, I was so ashamed when I heard that they had been inside, because our garage was so filthy, dirty, messy. And we were gonna do something about it, but we didn't have a lot of time. I'm working full time again, so I mean, after 4 years of sick leave, that's really hard. I'm working full time. I'm working a lot of hours. I'm working more than 38 hours a week, a lot, because it's really busy. It's really often they need a lot of extra help in the store, so I'll stay longer. Sometimes I work like 10 hours a day. I have worked 12 hours a day on occasions. So if you have been in sick leave for 4 years and then you're going back to work full time, a new job, a physical job, like, yeah, it's exhausting. And my household was not okay that week. Like, the garage was, yeah, I was ashamed of the garage. Let's just put it that way. I'm so sorry for Lucky screeching. So the police officer, he knew, apparently he was very informed about the animal welfare laws, and he saw that there wasn't any water, and he also saw other violations of the CITES law. So he made a, how do you say this? He made an official document about it, and he charged us for violating the law. And that's the reason why we received the letter. So no one accused us of anything. It was just a coincidence. Like, the collector came with the police, and they coincidentally saw Lucky in the garage. And that's why we got the letter. So then we got the letter. I called the police. They couldn't give any further information until the interrogation. I'm gonna drink from my Red Bull. Lucky, shh. Be silent. I'm telling a story. Okay. So, yeah. So that's what happened, and then so yeah, then the interrogation was today. So now I'm going to tell you how the interrogation went and what I did wrong, because I did do a lot wrong and I wasn't aware of this. So this is a very important live stream. It's already been going on for 34 minutes, but it's probably gonna last an hour or longer, because I feel like I need to do something with what I've learned today to protect other people, but also, of course, the animals. Yeah, I learned a lot today, and it's gonna change a lot too. It's gonna change a lot in my life, I feel, and in other people's lives. So Yeah, they did disregard the fact that I had an aviary in my yard, but we'll get to that. We will get to that. So today at 11 a.m. I went to the interrogation, and to be honest, the police officer. Hi Piotr, welcome to this live stream. Um, to be honest, the police officer that was doing the interrogation was super nice. Like, I love this guy. So my fear of being interrogated by a super mean police officer who was super intimidating was like gone in a second, because um, I was planning on asking him if I was allowed to record the conversation, the interrogation, because, I was scared that I would be confronted again with a police officer who would abuse his power. But when I entered the room and we shook hands and said hi, I immediately felt that this person was A-okay. So I immediately liked the police officer. He seemed like a really nice guy, really well informed, really well educated, smart, also, how do you say this? Like, you can have a high IQ, but you can also have a high EQ. Emotionally, he was emotionally intelligent as well. So, well, at least in my opinion, not that I am an expert or anything, but I immediately liked the guy, and I was immediately reassured that he would do the thing that was correct. Like, whether it would be in my advantage or in my disadvantage, I was immediately reassured that this guy was A-okay. So yeah, he was really nice. And he was like, okay, I'm just gonna ask you questions and just answer truthfully. So he did. And for example, he asked me, are you a member of an official falconry club or institution or something? And I was like, no, I'm not. And this question, for example, was important because apparently, if you want to go on a hike with your owl, if you want to leave your house with your owl, if you want to go in public, and in public means like even in a forest, it's a public place. So in theory, the moment I leave my house with Luki, I'm in public, and I can't do that. It's against the law unless I am an official member of an official registered falconry club. Plus, I have to be a member of such a club. And if I want to go on a hike with Luki outside my house and outside my garden, because that's private, but the rest of the world is public, I have to inform the city officially that, and I have to ask them for permission, that I am going on a hike with Luki in public on that date. So I have to inform them of the day and the time that I will be. I also have to give them the exact location of where I will be with Luki. So I can still do stuff with her outside, but only if I'm a member of an official falconry club, and only if I every single time inform the city services and stuff. So I was shocked by this. I was shocked. I did not know this, to be honest with you guys. And it turns out that there is so many stuff that is illegal, apparently, that I did, of which I did not know. I did not know. I was in shock, you guys. I was in shock because I was like, holy crap. If all of this was illegal, and I will explain everything, if all of this is illegal, then oh my god, I am in such violation of the law. I was in shock because I realized, oh my god, they were right. Like, I was in shock. And the reason I was even more in shock was because I did follow a falconry education before I got Luki. So, and a lot of stuff that my mentor told me to be true turned out to not be true. So I am kind of pissed at my mentor because I kind of blame him as well. I'm like, come on, I paid you to give me a falconer's education. I trust you. I trusted you to inform me so that I can be in order with the law. And now I'm in trouble because you apparently don't know shit. So, yeah, I was very, very shocked. Okay, I'll try to explain in a structured way what has to change. So, the good news is, I'll already reassure you guys. The good news is that I can keep Luki. They're not gonna take away Luki. I'm not a criminal. I'm not going to prison. And I also don't have to pay a fine or anything. Well, at least until now, because what has happened, like he interrogated me. There's an official document of that, of course, and that is going to court. And then court will decide what will happen. So there will still be stuff that can surface. I mean, there will be consequences, but what those consequences are going to be, we don't know yet. But the police officer reassured me that I'm not going to prison, and he didn't say anything about a fine, so I'm hoping I'm not going to have to pay anything. Oh my god, Dark Magic, thank you so much. Dark Magic just donated two, I think it's dollars or pounds. It's €1 and 80 cents. Oh, that's so cool that YouTube is telling me that it's like making conversion. And he says that, here you go, we support your channel no matter what. That is so kind. Thank you so much, Dark Magic. Where was I? So yeah, I'm not going to prison. Hopefully I will not have to pay some fine because I don't have any money except for the €1 and 80 cents Dark Magic just donated. So yeah, but of course I do have to change the things that weren't okay with the law. But that's no problem. We can do that. So what did I do wrong? First of all, the fact that Luki didn't have water, but that was a one-time thing. She normally does have water, so... But yeah, okay, I wasn't in order with that. Second of all, the fact that she was tied up to the perch, it is forbidden to tie your owl up to a perch. But I thought it was only forbidden until the new law, because the law has changed. I thought before the law changed, it was still, it was allowed. And apparently it was never allowed. The police officer told me that your owl, and it has always been like this, the law, your owl has to have the opportunity to fly like always. It always, at every second of the day, needs to have the opportunity to fly freely. So you have to have an aviary. And apparently it has always been like this. And this is not what my mentor taught me. And I'm so angry about this because this is like a serious... This is serious. Like, this is not a detail for me, you know? So apparently it has been illegal the whole time. And this really bothers me because I have videos, which I'm gonna delete, by the way, because it is not okay to leave them up. Like, I want to take my responsibility in this, you guys. I think I mentioned in some videos that in Belgium it is legal to tie your owl up to a perch because I thought it was legal. So I have given people wrong information. Do you know how serious that is? To me, that is a big deal. Like, I am so not proud of that. So yeah, that is the first big deal. So she has to be in the aviary always. The second thing is, even if tying an owl up to a perch would be allowed, then there was another problem. The garage has windows, and you cannot put your owl, if it's a night hunter, if it's a nocturnal animal, then you have to put it in a dark space. So a room with windows, which has daylight in it, is not okay. So that was a problem. And at first, when the police officer explained this to me, he talked about the sun, and I was like, yeah, but I never put Loki in the sun. I thought he meant that it was forbidden to, during the summer, for example, to put the owl, to expose the owl to the sun, which is logical because if Loki is in the sun during the summer, she gets too hot and she starts panting. I have videos on this. Um, the videos are called How to Learn About Owl Body Language, I think. In those videos, I explain what panting looks like in an owl and what it means. And I also explain that this can happen if it is standing in the sun and it's getting too hot. So I thought the police officer was talking about putting your owl in the sun during summer, but very soon it was clear that that was not what he meant. He meant that your owl cannot be in a space with daylight because it's a nocturnal animal. And I was surprised by this. I didn't know that either. Another violation. Another violation. I have to think. Oh, also the fact, because I was, like I always am, very honest during the interrogation, and so I got lucky too early. But it wasn't very clear from what age you could purchase your owl at the breeder, but it was clear that the breeder gave me the owl like too soon, which I didn't know either. What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh, the police officer first asked me the question, do you give demonstrations with Lucky? And I was like, no, I don't, because you guys know I'm not a professional falconer. It doesn't interest me to give demonstrations with my owl. But I did tell him that one time how do you say this? I did do a demonstration. My mentor gave a demonstration with his owls, and he was like, well, why don't you take Lucky and bring her to my demonstration, and then you can fly her during the demonstration. So, because he was like, this is going to be good for Lucky, that way she can learn how to fly when there's a lot of people watching. It's good for her social skills, yada, yada, yada. So I did that one time, but for the rest, I didn't do any demonstrations with her. And he was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I don't do demonstrations. But the thing is, he then opened his computer and he opened my YouTube channel. So this police officer knew about my YouTube, and he showed me a video. It had the title, Lucky Becomes a Star. I will try, after this live stream, it's 48 minutes. I'm gonna try to write something down. Just wait. It's 48. Oh god. I will link the video 48:29 or something. Lucky Becomes a Star. After this live stream, I will make a chart and like link the video in this video. So if you rewatch the video at about 48 minutes, you will see a link appearing to the video the police officer showed me. So he showed me a video titled Lucky Becomes a Star, in which apparently I gave a demonstration with Lucky. But it was a video with me and my aunt going on a walk with Lucky. So I was like, oh, but sir, excuse me, this is just a video of me going on a hike with Lucky and my aunt. My aunt. So yeah, and he was like, yeah, but here there's people touching your owl and it's a demonstration. So apparently when you go in public with your owl, even though your intention is not to give a demonstration, it is by law a demonstration. I did not know this at all. I was like, what? I was in shock. So this is super illegal. So yeah, that day I apparently violated the law, like super bad. Um, so yeah, of course I apologize because it wasn't my intention to lie during the interrogation. I just didn't know that that was a demonstration. For me, a demonstration is when you have an audience and you fly your owl in front of an audience. It's also, I'm just thinking of this, apparently it's also illegal to fly her in parks like I did before. I have flown her in parks, not when there were people there. I mean, people could have passed by, but not to give a show or a demonstration, but just because I was like, this is good for her mentally. It's mental stimulation. It's keeping her social, not afraid of stuff. So, but that is illegal as well. So I can't do that anymore. Well, I haven't done that these past few years. I haven't flown her in parks, only in my backyard, but still, it's illegal. So if I would want to do that, I can't do that anymore. Um, what else? I think that's about it. I think that's about it. It felt like it was more violations, but I think that's about it. Now, um, what are the solutions? The solutions are that I don't go out in public with her anymore, first of all, unless I become a member of a registered falconers club. But I think I will also have to do an exam then, which I don't have. And to do that exam, I think I have to pay for uh, an education that will go deeper into falconry because I think the exams are pretty hard. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do that. So that means I can't go out in public with Loki anymore. Um, but also, what else has to change? I cannot keep her tethered to a perch inside the house anymore. And tomorrow the police officer is coming back to take pictures of our aviary and to check if it's okay, if it's we already told him the dimensions of the aviary and what it looks like, and he says that he thinks it's okay, that we are in order, that the aviary is good enough. Oh my god, thank you, Dark Magic. You're so kind. So the police officer thinks the aviary is okay. But nevertheless, he wants to come to our house and see for himself, which is a-okay. I'd rather have him check and be sure that it's in order than to get in even more trouble than I already am. So he's coming by tomorrow to check the aviary. So, but we already think to be sure that the aviary is okay. So what's gonna happen now is that Luki needs to stay in the aviary at all times. Of course, I can't take her inside the house to make videos because I also checked with the police officer. I asked him like, can I still make videos with her? And he was like, he was like, well, I don't know 100% for sure, but he thinks it's okay because you're in your private home, like you're not giving demonstrations, you're just sitting in front of a camera with her, so he thinks it's okay. Um, but when I'm not doing videos, Luki needs to be in the aviary at all times. Now, I did explain to this police officer that the reason I don't keep her in the aviary in winter is because I'm afraid that when it will get cold, she'll get sick and die because she's used to being inside, and also she's so used to being with us that if she would stay in the aviary the whole time, she would get depressed, which is also very bad for an owl. Um, So, and his response was, well, if she dies because of the cold, then that is just nature. Now, please don't go hate on him because he said that. I do understand his logic. Like, owls in nature only become 2 years old for a reason. Life in nature is way harder in a way because you can also call a captive life hard, because you don't have your freedom for 100%. Like, not even in an aviary. Like, if you want to fly further than the aviary, you can't. But, like, life in nature is hard because, yeah, owls die very young because of A, the cold, B, diseases, C, other predators killing and eating them, all kinds of stuff, like a scarcity of food. Um, so I do get his point. Like, yeah, if she were to die during winter, it would just be nature. But of course, for me and for Robert, it's super sad. And I also do not want Lucky to die. Of course, I'm not sure if she would die if I put her outside. But I did explain to him that it might happen that after 2 months of being outside during winter, she could be dead. Um, and tomorrow when he comes, I'm gonna double check because um, after the interrogation, I started to doubt, like, well, do I have to put her in the aviary at all times now? The law says yes, but I'm gonna ask him what 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 does he advise? Like, if he says, yeah, I'm sorry, from now on she has to be in the aviary at all times, then I'm gonna do it, guys. I can't take the risk because inspection might come back, and if they find Lucky tied up to a perch for a second time, they will not be so nice to me, then I will be in an extreme violation of law and I don't want to get in trouble. So if he says, yes, even though she might die, you have to put her in the aviary, then I have no other choice than to do it. And all I can hope for is that Lucky will not get sick and die. I hope that, like, my mentor has given me a lot of misinformation, and I hope that this information was false as well. I hope that because my mentors told me that if your owl is used to being inside and you put her outside during winter, she will die. I hope he lied about this as well. I hope this was a mistake of his as well. But don't panic because I'm also gonna add, if the inspector says yes, she has to be in the aviary at all times, then I will also ask if it's allowed by law to put some kind of heating system in the aviary. So then, even if we don't have the money to install a heating system, I swear to God, Robert and I will find a way to collect some money or save up some money to install a heating system as soon as possible. But of course, I have to check that with the officer as well because nothing surprises me now. It wouldn't surprise me if it would be illegal too. I don't find it logical, but yeah, I am going to double check everything from now on. So tomorrow I'm going to ask the officer um, if she needs to be in the aviary at all times from now on, or if we can make an exception in this case because, the people who make the laws, I'm sure that they want Lucky to be well. That's why the police officer who saw Lucky for the first time, that's why he charged us, not because he hates us, but because he wants the best for Lucky. So, and we want the best for Lucky too. So, I hope they are going to allow an exception, but they probably won't because it's not the law. Yeah. So, if they won't allow an exception, then I have no other option than to put her in the aviary. But then we'll see if we can find another solution, maybe a heating system that is allowed by law. I don't know. I will keep you updated on that, by the way. So the solution is to put Lucky in the aviary at all times. Like I said, she normally does have water in the aviary, so that's not a problem anymore. The aviary should be fine. The police officer is going to check tomorrow, but normally speaking, the aviary should be legal and approved. And yeah, I cannot go go on hikes with Luki in the forest, for example, anymore. And also, I was going to visit a school with small children today with Luki. The teacher just messaged me. I see the ping you guys heard probably was her messaging me. And because of the interrogation, I had to say that I wasn't going to be able to come. So the toddlers are going to be really disappointed. But as it turns out, after the investigation, I can't do that anymore, ever. I can't ever go to a school anymore with children and with Luki to teach the children about owls, unless I become a member of a registered falconry club, and if I announce it to the city and ask for permission to, go to the school with Luki at that date and that time. Dark Magic, you're just giving and giving and giving, and thank you so much. Dark Magic just keeps sending me money. Thanks. Yeah, so that is everything that has to change. I probably forgot some stuff. If I, later this evening, if something comes to mind, I will write it down and I will talk to you guys about it in the next live stream or the next edited video. So, to make a long story short, it turned out pretty okay. Of course, it's no fun to know that there's, like, this is gonna go on my record, if you know what I mean. And of course, the police know that I'm a good person, but still, it's no fun to have something on your record, but it's what it is, the police officer also told me that he sees that we're good people and that Luki is very healthy and in good condition, that it's not neglected or anything. And so, Dark Magic, thank you so much. You're making me rich. Oh, Luki, hey, are you back? How sweet of you. Yes. You want attention, don't you? So, where was I? So yeah, the police officer kind of was really nice, and he was like, okay, I can see that you guys didn't do this on purpose. So it was just ignorance. I never thought I would say this about myself, but it was ignorance. We didn't have a clue about, I was shocked, to be honest. So in the future, I am going to make at least a few videos on the fact that if you want an owl, no matter what country you live in, you get an official falconer's education, and even after that falconer's education, don't go to a hobby falconer like I did. Even though my hobby falconer mentor, he did follow an official falconer's education, for which he paid a lot of money. So I thought he was qualified, but first of all, don't go to a hobby falconer, go to an official falconer, professional falconer. And even after that education, which will cost you a lot of money, by the way, but you have to do it. I totally recommend it. Even after that education, take the initiative to look up the law or the laws in your country. And if you find this hard, and if you're not sure that you found anything, because there are official sites and sites that aren't official, and you need to be sure that you are looking up the information on the right official government websites, because otherwise you're still going to be misinformed. So take the initiative to look up everything on the official websites, and after that, after you've looked up everything, go to your city, your city house or your city, I don't know, the cities, the services of the city, and or contact the government uh, and ask them if you are fully informed. Ask them, tell them that you have gone to this website and that this and this and this is what you know, and just double check if you are well informed or not, if you are fully informed or not. Please, guys, do that if you want an owl, because oh my god, I was so shocked today that I wasn't in order with the law. It's not a pleasant experience, you know. You just want to be, you think you're doing well, you think you're being good and following the law, and then it turns out that you're violating it. You have been violating it the whole time, and it's really, it's not a pleasant experience. So I will make several videos in the future informing people about the dangers of owning an exotic animal and thinking you're following the law when you're not. Don't just trust don't just trust anybody who claims to be capable of educating you, because that's a mistake I made. What else? I don't know, that's it for now, I think. Yeah, that's it. I hope I haven't forgotten to tell you guys anything. I think I told the most important stuff. Yeah, I'm just, guys, I'm so sorry. Hey, Lucy, welcome back. I was about to finish the live stream and now you come back. Now you come back right before the end. Oh yeah, also another thing I can tell you is that apparently there are a lot of, like, even professional falconers who need to go, who need to be interrogated, who need to come to the police because they are in violation of law. So apparently it also does happen to official falconers, I think, and so it does say something about the fact that maybe, I don't know, yeah, a lot of people weren't fully informed. Apparently I wasn't the only one, so it is a big problem here in Belgium, and yeah, we should all do something about it, because yeah, I mean, it's great that that there is an inspection and that the law has become more strict, because it's good for the animals. Like, animal welfare is really important. But yeah, apparently there was a lot of stuff I didn't know, and I'm not proud of that. But I was like, okay, I have to make a video about this, or multiple videos, to warn people that they need to do a lot to be 100% informed. And I don't want to encourage people to buy an owl and violate the law, so I'm saying it now. It's better to not, even to not get an owl. I have made a video in the past, in the recent past, where I talked about the fact that after Lucky, I'm not gonna get a new owl. I know Lucky is happy. I know you can see that in the videos, but still, I have gone on a spiritual journey, and I think it's better for owls and all animals, but you know, how far you go, you can have a discussion about cats and dogs too, I guess, but like, it's better for animals to be 100% free, I think. If I would reincarnate into an owl, I would not want to be an owl in captivity, like, not even in an aviary. Of course, I'm not an owl. I don't know what Lucky thinks, what a normal owl thinks. I can't know, I can't possibly know, but still, I'm just trying to do the best thing for everyone, including the animals. So yeah. But if you want an owl, make sure it's legal in your country and make sure that you know everything about owning an owl and all of the laws that exist, because otherwise you'll get in trouble and your animal might get in trouble and you don't want to make your animal unhappy. So, oh my god, my battery is dying. I have to finish this live stream. Thank you, Dark Magic, again for the donation. You're so kind. Thank you so much. Lucky is going to fall asleep on my lap. If you had an owl that was not native. Oh, someone asked, would these laws still apply if I would have an owl not native to my country? Yeah, I think so. It's for all owls. Also the owls that are not native to my country. So, yeah. Okay, guys. Looking at my I can't speak English today anymore. What is this? Ballpoint? My pen. Duh. Yeah, I'm gonna finish this live stream. I love you guys. And yeah, thank you for joining. Be safe, and I wish you guys a good night. And I'll see you in the next live stream, which I will announce, of course, on Instagram. Yeah. Oh, don't forget to check out my merchandise. The link to my merchandise, I have 2 different websites, Viral Style and Teespring, is in the description box down below. We have really cool stuff, so yeah, be kind. Okay, bye guys. Bye. Say bye, Lucky. Say bye to the viewers. Watch my finger.